Good morning, friends. Welcome to another morning devotion from Sarin United Church of Christ. It is Wednesday. You've made it to Wednesday, and I'm so grateful for you to have done so, and I hope this blesses you. This is a repeat of a story I told actually before I was the pastor here, but was doing some supply preaching already. But it's been on my mind as we move toward this Christmas season, and I thought it would be a useful little nugget for you to chew on throughout the day. So here goes. Several years ago, I was serving Kingwood Christian Church, a Disciples of Christ congregation in Kingwood, Texas, outside of Houston. And one of the things that we did is we were one of the sites that had some court-ordered, court-appointed, court-monitored visitation for families who were estranged, especially parents who had visitation that needed to be supervised through the court system. And so once a month, I think maybe it even got to be 2 times a month, a sheriff or 2 and some social workers or 2 and some folks who worked for DCS or 2 and some lawyers occasionally would all descend upon our church and basically watch 20 to 30 parents with 30 to 50 kids and just make sure that that was all kosher and above board and everybody was getting together well. We, after the first year of doing this, said, hey, why don't you let us throw a Christmas party for all of you? And so we did. And we got a lot of toys, and we had Santa come, and we passed out some candy, and we had some food. And it was a really lovely morning. And I, being the youth pastor, but these not being any of my families or kids, just decided I'll just make my rounds around the room and see if anybody needs some help. I mean, I'm a helpful guy, and who knows? Maybe they need help putting a toy together or playing with that toy or eating some of their food or candy. I was there for whatever God needed me for. I made my way to the corner of the room where there was a young dad who had some tattoos around, including a teardrop under one eye that I hadn't seen there before. And I introduced myself, and he introduced himself, and he introduced me to his son. I don't remember anybody's names anymore, but I can still see him. And his son was playing with some toys, and they were interacting. And I was just getting ready to leave when his son said, Daddy, would it be okay if I went over there and played with some of those kids? There were a group of kids from multiple families who were getting a game going in another corner of the facility. And he took a breath, and he said, yeah, that'd be okay. So the kid runs off, and I immediately take this opportunity to start pouring some praise on this guy. Like, hey, I know it's a sticky situation with you and his mom, and I don't even really know it, but I'm sure it's tricky. And I just want to let you know, man, you're doing a good job. Like, your kid's having a Merry Christmas. The toy you got him is great, and he really clearly is excited to be with you. And he didn't really cut me off, but he started speaking as if to say, you don't even know. And I'll never forget what he said. He said, today is the first day I've ever met him. And just now was the first time I heard him call me Daddy. Now, the backstory was that this guy had been in prison. And his son had been born while he was there. And he had never been brought to see him. And he was a little grateful for that even because he didn't want to be seen like that. And he was working really hard to get back in this kid's life, but it wasn't going super well. The kid's mom wasn't super excited about him getting to know his dad. And he had messed up some things between her and him, of course. But the court had said, okay, we'll allow you visitation, but it's got to be this time and this place. And the very first time that he met his son was going to be a Christmas party at this church. So he'd gotten some toys, and they had gotten some food, and they'd only spent the 45 minutes that we had been there together ever. Now I have a 7-month-old son. As of today. And I'd knock down my house to see him. I'd do all sorts of things to hear him say Daddy, which I'm sure he's going to do any minute. But it did matter a great deal to me and my spirit and the way I saw Christmas from then on, to be in the presence of this guy and hear that story. And I suppose the thing that's speaking to me now to say to you is, it's possible this Christmas doesn't look the way you want it. It's possible that all your best laid plans have been dashed and all your traditions are going to have to get pushed to the spring or to next Christmas. It's probably not a bad thing to be reminded that there are some people fighting far different, far greater battles than you this holiday season. It's probably worth reminding you that there are some people who haven't seen the people they love the most and haven't heard them call them by the name they want to hear the most. It doesn't entirely mitigate what you're experiencing, and I'm not trying to tell you you shouldn't be feeling the way you feel. I just want you to have in your head that there are other people having lesser Christmases than each one of us. And it ought to make us grateful for the memories we have, for the time we've still got, for the time we will have, and for everybody we love, who we get to see, who we get to know, who we get to hear call us by the names that make our lives. Have a blessed Wednesday, my friends. Amen.